Ooh. Okay. So I'm recording now. I wasn't intending on recording just yet, but I'm recording now. And I want to say that I want to just give a shout out to everybody that really appreciated the last video I made like an hour ago. When everyone else was in the Ustream, when I was talking about the white parents of like POC of POC children of children of color. Um and I really, that's a part one because I really wanted to get into what happens to brown folks who are caring for white folks, and like how like it can really be devastating to be the caretaker of a white child in our society, because it's completely full of like, just like vitriol and cruelty and just like disbelief and suspicion. And some people shared some stories with me about having a POC parent and a white parent, and how racism can pop off just in that situation, obviously, but like how it can pop off in like real ways that manifest like, outside of the home. So um, I, I want to go into that. That's going to be the part two. But basically, this video is a call out. There's a call out for real, for real. Basically, I got hired at this job in New Orleans um, earlier this year, like in September. And when I saw the listing online, it said, Magic Shop looking for like a cashier, looking for like a part-time work, part-time cashier. So I was like, I have worked a cash register machine before. I figured it wouldn't really be a big deal, but also I'm really interested in learning more about Voodoo and paganism and the occult. So I really wanted to be able to get into a space where I was able to have magical tools at my disposal, and also the discount was looking good. But also I needed a job. Point blank, I needed a job. But it was also kind of cool to be in a space where I feel like I could get some healing, some tools, some literature, some knowledge. I just felt like it was such a blessing and I was supposed to be there. Now, when I interviewed for the job, I told y'all in one video I didn't think I was going to get it because the woman was asking me, all I knew about Halloween. And honestly, like, I don't know super a lot about Halloween, but that's mainly because I live in America and Halloween here is some bullshit. You know what I mean? Halloween here is like some bullshit. I think like there are, or rather at this point it's some bullshit, you know what I mean? And she wanted me to go into the history of Halloween, and I just didn't give a fuck to know about Halloween, and I just didn't know. But what I said, what got me the job, I suppose, was that I said that's a time for all, hallowed souls to be together. And that's the truth. But I didn't go into everything. And she was like, okay, okay. She was giving me a side eye, like she really didn't want to feel me. But when I got the job, I was really excited, but I noticed right away, how shit was like gonna be fucked up. And I think it's interesting to say that like when you start a job and someone tells you that their boss, your boss's boss, is an asshole or a self-proclaimed bitch or is fucked up and grimy and like, I wish at that time I had the ability to walk away from that job, because I kind of was like, I'm only working part time. Like, I really shouldn't have to deal with someone who professes that they're a self-proclaimed bitch, that they're an asshole, that they like verbally abuse folks. I shouldn't have to hear that and say, okay, you know what I mean? I should be able to report that shit, you know what I mean? Get some justice, but that's not how the world is, okay? The world is like, you're broke, you go and apply for a job, and the person blatantly tells you that there's a person who owns the fucking whole shop that is rude as fuck and horrible and knows it and doesn't give a fuck. So as I said, broke, couldn't really make a decision. So I decided to just take the job. And the whole time I'm telling the person who's interviewing me, I was like, I could sell honey to a bee. I could sell salt to a slug. I was like, all you need to do is just trust in me. I will sell, and just, keep the shop looking good. And, she seemed to be impressed with my can-do attitude. You feel me? When in doubt, can do. When in doubt, can do. Tell the folks you can do the shit, okay? That's what they want to hear. They want to hear that you got this shit. So going to the shop, and at first, I'm having like a seemingly easy breezy time, but I find out right away, like literally my second day of working, that I had to be by myself. Like my first day of training, I came in and helped somebody close the shop, and then I came in early and watched somebody open the shop and chilled for like an hour. But then that real first like shift by myself, I was by myself, and I really didn't know the register that well, and I was just holding it down. You know what I mean? I was banging it out. I was still trying to work it out. But I noticed that, you know, in the shop, you know, where I was working, they had a lot of things in there that I thought were interesting. Like, for instance, they have a lot of Mary LaVue shit, right? But all of it's made by white folks. Like, all of the Mary LaVue paintings, all of the Mary LaVue spirit boards, all of the Mary LaVue soaps and fucking fragrance sprays and all this stuff is made by white folks. And they're using Mary LaVue's name to legitimize their bullshit ass fucking sprays and soaps and all types of things. Um, but they're not at all like giving any coin to any kind of foundation, any kind of House of LaVue, any kind of, you know, positive retribution they could give back to the Mary LaVue estate. Like, not at all. Like, they don't give a fuck. And I'm just noticing they're sucking the fucking tit of Mary LaVue all up in this shop because all they want to do is show Mary LaVue's face with a fucking head wrap on and a little gold earring looking stern. That's what it is. A lot of black imagery in there. They have like these black corn husk dolls, these black broom dolls. They have all these things in there that give you this very like quote unquote authentic vibe, but it's bullshit and fuckery because in reality, all they care about is what these black folks can do for their authenticity. And what I mean by that is to say, if you go to the hexwitch.com website and you look up tarot card readers, you'll notice that they only have a picture of one bitch, and that's Miss Denise. And the only reason why they have that picture of her is because she's the only one who holds it the fuck down. The rest of the card readers, while they are good folks, they're not going to put on that traditional voodoo priestess, witch doctor-esque fucking kente cloth dress and give people that African realness. So right off the bat, you know, Miss Denise, when we started talking, she told me the tea. She told me that when the white dude opened up the store, he was going around the French Quarter looking to find a black bitch that he could fucking exploit and fucking use. And it's interesting to me also that for each fucking tarot card reading, they offer a discount of $5 off if you have a coupon. But you really just have to say, I saw the coupon. You just have to say you saw it and they give it to you, right? And for every, let's say a reading costs like $30 for half an hour and fucking $60 for a half an hour. Now you can get $5 off, but it don't matter because Miss Denise only get $15 of that 30 and fucking 25 of that 60. So I'm sitting here like, okay, like, how in the fuck? You got Miss Denise sitting up here wearing a fucking skull necklace and all these bones and these cowrie shells and got these cards all set up nice and they got a skull sitting next to her, but they cannot pay her proper coins. They want to charge her to have a little fucking nook in a crowded ass little shop. There's no privacy. There were so many times where white folks who were drunk as fuck would be just walking into the shop and I would have to say, excuse me, please, we have a reading in session. Would you mind please keeping it down? And people tried to play me like I was being angry black lady. I couldn't even tell white folks who were fucking disrupting some shit in a space where white folks had set it up to be disrupted that they were being disruptive. It's just like this whole like domino effect. It's like this house built on a house of fuckery. And I'm trying to just break down one of the houses and then all the houses want to come at me like I fucked up, like I did something wrong. So with that said, you know, I'm in a situation where it's me and this other black woman, right? And, you know, the whole time, you know, me and her were just like trying to look out for each other, you know, and when I first started working, she realized that I would be hungry sometimes. And I feel like she very much is a spiritual and magical being and that she could anticipate everything that I was thinking. Like I would sit there and I would be wanting a cigarette and she would pop up out of nowhere and just hand it to me and be like, girl, I heard you. And I was like, okay. And I remember I didn't even really know her. And I remember one time she came up and this was like the first week I was working there. there, she popped up on me with a plate of food, a big ass plate of fucking like some chicken, some rice, some salad, and was like, girl, I know you hungry. Go ahead and get you something to eat. Go in the back. And it was just like, it was like having that space with another black person, especially a black woman, in this space. It was so real for me to like really, cause like I really didn't have nobody else. It was like 5 people working there, sometimes 6, and then the owner, which made 7 folks, and they was all white except for me and this other black person. And she seemed like the only person who understood where I was coming from, because it seemed like every time I tried to like offer any kind of reasoning to my white boss, she was just not here for me. Like, she set up the schedule, and I saw on the schedule that it said that I leave at 4 o'clock, that Jesse comes in at 6, but that she dips at 4 o'clock as well. Or rather, she was supposed to dip, or rather, she dips at 6 o'clock, but she would have to wait for Jesse to come before she could dip off. So she would get mad at me. She would bug on me for her schedule. She'd be like, Tatiana, you know what? Next time I need you to stay here till 5. And I was like, but bitch, I told you. There was one time in particular where I had friends from out of town come to visit me, and I was like really like waiting to go out with them and really have a good time. And this bitch tried to get me to stay another hour because she did not do the schedule right. And then when it comes down to it, the training was a joke. They did not train me. They literally were like, okay, well, Miss Fast Talking Bitch, Miss I Can Do It, go ahead and do it. They really didn't want to try to give me any training. And then after, when I made a mistake, they would tell me that I don't like to ask questions. And I'm sorry, but like, yo, if you put me on the floor and you're not telling me explicitly where everything is, why is it that like after 2 months of working there, I'm just finding out where the fucking necklace cords are? Why am I just finding out by getting chastised by the owner that I'm not allowed to sell things off of the mannequin, but no one told me where everything else is at? So it's just interesting that I'm supposed to be going in this shop, walking around and asking and trying to figure out for myself exactly where, the fuck, things are. And again, this isn't my business, but notice, when you're a black person at a business, especially a small business, they be wanting you to act like this is your shit. They want you to go in and go hard for them. So I'm also noticing that like there was this whole kind of like team kind of oriented environment going on in the shop, but it really wasn't real. Because at the end of the day, when we would leave the little team setup, I would go talk to Miss Denise, and Miss Denise would talk to me. Now, on one occasion, I remember, actually not one occasion, I remember on a couple of occasions, I was sent to go do packaging, which I thought was interesting because this is a little ass setup. They don't really have a lot of backroom space. And once they switched up all the shit, there really wasn't no space for the actual workers there. They maximized space for the guests, not for the workers. So everybody was on top of each other. I had to constantly brush my whole body across 3 fucking people at all times because there was no fucking space. And people want to act like they're small and want to suck in and act like I could just breeze by when that was never the fucking case. So there was a lot of situations where I just felt like fucking touched when I didn't want to be, fucking had to touch other folks when I didn't fucking want to. And then there was one situation where, again, I was told to do packaging, which is basically where I'm going into the back room, which is our bathroom. Yes, bitch, get into it. There was a bathroom which doubled as a storage room and also a work closet. So I would be sitting on a fucking toilet bagging up fucking what was I bagging the most? I'm trying to think of it. Guinea peppers, excuse me. I would be bagging guinea peppers, which are these like little peppers that come inside of it comes from a plant. I'm not gonna go into it because I can't really tell you the origins of the guinea peppers right now. But I'll tell you this: you put 16 of them in an orange bag, and so says this magic shop. It'll help you with your fucking correction facilities issues. It's bullshit, but that's how they're selling the shit, right? So they would have me bagging guinea peppers, sitting on a toilet in a bathroom. Meaning, if I gotta take a shit, I literally just need to lift up the seat, take my doo-doo, and keep on working. There's literally no break between bathroom and workroom. So it's like once you go into the workroom, bathroom, that's you in there. And I remember one time in particular, I was about to leave my shift and I was using the bathroom, had the door shut, and for some reason, there's only 3 of us working at this time. 3 of us working. One of us is missing. The other person is working the register. One person comes to the back. Now, if my ass is missing and you don't see me, Wouldn't you assume I'm in the bathroom? Or why the fuck wouldn't you knock? Because I noticed that the person didn't even knock. They just popped into the room and wanted to just start talking to me. And I'm sitting on the toilet, and they couldn't really tell from where they were standing that like I was sitting taking a poop, because as far as they were concerned, I was probably bagging guinea peppers. So it was one of those situations where, you know, even when I was trying to be by myself at the job, I couldn't be by myself. Okay, I could not have privacy. And that's just one of the many things. And I don't even want to go, actually, no, I'm going to go into it. During like the last couple of days of me working there, I overheard my boss telling Miss Denise that me and this other white lady don't close the lid before we flush the toilet, and that is apparently very unhygienic to flush without closing the lid. Now look, I didn't know that. I didn't know. I thought if you took a doo-doo and you flushed it, that was that. I didn't know that if you took a doo-doo and you flushed it, that all this shit was gonna pop off. I didn't know that. But my boss did, and decided that she was gonna put a picture of, you know, an article that she's seen on motherfucking Daily Post talking about if you don't close the lid when you flush the toilet, you're spraying doo-doo around everything. And I'm sitting here like, so now we're gonna be held accountable for spraying our doo-doo around these motherfucking rose hips, hibiscus leaves, and all types of shit. All this product that we gotta put out. Now the person who works there, who has to be in this little ass tiny storage closet / bathroom, gotta be in charge of fucking making sure that everything isn't getting fucked up in the space by our doo-doo clouds and doo-doo crumbs. So I was just like, okay. I'm like, nobody obviously wants to be spraying around booty pebbles. Nobody wants to be, you know, getting Shittamon crunch and shit all over the stuff. But at the same time, it's like, hold up. It's like, why couldn't you just talk to us? Again, it was 7 people at most that worked there at any given time, and it was usually not that many. It was usually maybe 4 folks on staff. Even if the manager was there, 4 folks on staff. So it's like you got 4 folks at any given time, and you can't just say, hey, would y'all put down the toilet seat? That shit is gross to me. And you know, we got a little bit of space. But it's, again, how is the onus on us as workers to be fucking making sure doo-doo, flakes, crumbs, air, dust, particles don't get on your fucking merchandise when you don't give a fuck about your merchandise because it's in a bathroom? It was just like mind-boggling to me how we was being held accountable for that fuckery. Now wait, I'm gonna get into the chat because I haven't seen the chat this whole time I've been going in. I'm going in for 16 motherfucking minutes. That is a mess. I'm dead. You said when you flush the toilet, water comes up 6 feet. Child, I didn't even know that shit. That's wild. Yes, this is the witch shop, child. Yes, it is. I'm talking about the witch shop. Exactly. Exactly, Sammy Rue. Tainted magical supplies. That's what I'm saying. But again, you know, we're dealing with a situation where people are getting yelled at, like getting shaded. And I told the white lady that also got called out. I was like, Sharon, I was like, they're over here talking about something. We got our booty flakes and shit all over the fucking magical products and stuff. And she was like, I don't even poop here. Like, that was what Sharon said to me. Sharon's gonna talk about something. I don't even poop here. I'm like, well, shit, I do. And fuck, sometimes I gotta take a doo-doo. Some people got particular ass booty holes, and they just be pooping wherever the fuck they feel safe and clean, and they gotta poop in a place that they know. They gotta feel secure in the place that they pooping in. Me, I will shit anywhere. If I gotta doo-doo, I gotta doo-doo, I gotta doo-doo. I'm not gonna fucking be trying to act like my booty hole is so fucking spectacular and so motherfucking sits so high that I can't take a doo-doo everywhere. Exactly. Well, I mean, look, Zandy, I didn't do it and put it back up. Plus, it would be a situation where I would take a doo-doo, flush the toilet, and be washing my hands, and someone would just bust in on me. It was really just a culture of, like, no privacy, and people just, like, popping in. And I remember in one instance, in particular, there was a situation where I had 3 people come into the shop. Now, mind you, this shop is on Decatur. Yes, bitch, I'm spilling all the fucking tea because this place is fucking horrible, and I'm not gonna play games. Like, they fired me for a non-reason. They deadass told me that I'm a great worker, that I could sell, but that I was not, that the job was detail oriented, and I did not do enough tasks, or rather, it was task oriented, and I did not do enough tasks. But the thing is, the tasks that they wanted done were things that you're supposed to hire folks to do, not people that you hired to be magical helper cashiers and shit. It's just like, what the fuck? It's like, okay, you got me working the cashier, you got me you know, asking people if they want their candles blessed and but then at the same time you're gonna have me come in for a 6-hour shift, and the whole time, you know what I'm doing? The whole 6-hour shift, you know what I'm doing? Fucking odds and ends, motherfucking scraping paint chips off of wood, excuse me, scraping paint chips off of glass so that they can put some shit behind it so it looks nicer, because the person who painted it was the owner and they did a sloppy ass job. So it's like, it's fucking me up that like the owner of the shop does all this sloppy bullshit, but yet want other people to clean up their fucking mess. But then at the end of the day, I'm not task oriented enough because I didn't do enough tasks that other people just didn't do correctly the first fucking time. It's just very interesting to me. And then, you know, after I got fired, which it was funny because like when they were firing me, I was like, can I still use y'all for a reference? And my boss was like, absolutely. And I was like, cool. But I feel like they only said that because that shop stay having problems. This bitch made us go on TripAdvisor and discredit someone's claims of being treated poorly in a shop that we don't even work at. There's 2 shops that this person owns. Excuse me, there's 3 shops this person owns. He owns a shop in the Omen, and his name is Christian Day. Girl, I'm coming for his ass too, because he tried to play and he tried to be extra, okay? I was trying to be nice to him. I was like, girl, can I get your fucking autograph? And he was being extra about the shop. The shop looked a mess because the person who was running the shop just wasn't really trying to be in the shop. This person would have their schedule up and they were supposed to come in at 12. My boss was coming at 12. This bitch wouldn't show up till 3 o'clock till I was about to leave. And that's the same shit she did when she fired me. She didn't come in for her whole shift and then gonna come in when I'm leaving. Like dead ass the last 5 minutes of my shift. Not even last 5 minutes. I was already off the clock, bitch. I already punched out and I was on my way out. I had my scarf, everything done. And this bitch gonna be like, can I talk to you for a second? And I was like, sure thing. And I knew I was about to be fired. I told all my homies I'm about to get fired. I already told everybody because I already peeped game. We had somebody quit the job. Somebody dead ass just walked out in the middle of their shift. And then that's when my hours got vamped. Like I went from having 15 to 16 to 18 hours to working fucking 40 hours and shit. And they was working me to the fucking bone, right? But I'm not task oriented, right? They was working me to the fucking bone. And then the whole time they're working me to the bone, they're talking about, oh, we got interviews coming in, They had this black woman, I'm gonna speak on it. They had this black woman come in and they said to her, you know, that like they did the same thing they did to me. They had an interview and then they came and they had her do this thing where they ask you to pick out 3 things. They give you a situation that a customer comes in with and you got to pick out 3 magical items that's supposed to be helping them with their healing or spiritual work, whatever. And I told her, I was like, grab a book, because the bitch wants you to try to sell these books, bitch. Grab a book, grab some magical tools, but grab a book. And she did. And I thought she was going to get it because why, after she picked out her magical tools, instead of sending her home, they said to her, my boss was like, listen, the woman who used to do the decorating, who was Carrie, fucking quit because she was sick of getting fucking in trouble for other folks' bullshit, okay? Other people were doing fuckery and she got caught out for it and it was whack. So she decided to leave. But my boss is going to tell this woman who has been interviewing for this job, who's been doing everything seemingly right, and she's black and like she looks so cute, and I was so excited to work with her. I was like, oh my god, please let's have another black bitch in this shop. Yes, I was so into it. I was so here for it. I was praying on it. And my boss is gonna say, well, the woman that used to do the decorations for the cabinets, she actually quit on us. She left us. So, you know, and Christian doesn't really trust my eyes. So I just want to see if you can like really do something. And this bitch turned it out. Honestly, in moments like these, I wish I had photos to show y'all, because this bitch turned out. She had a picture of the Loa Baron Samedi, and then had a picture of Marie Laveau next to it, but then had like a vial of sassafras, had like these purple, gold, and green beads going through it, had some voodoo dolls around it. It was so sickening. She did a whole display. And then even the white bitch Sharon gonna say, do we have folks that don't work here on ladders? Because she was like, is she the new hire? I was like, not yet. And then she goes, do we have people that ain't working here on ladders touching merchandise? I was like, girl, go in, Sharon. Ask the questions. Ask the questions. You feel me? Ask the questions. questions, Sharon. Ask questions, because I want to know too. I want to know why we have this black woman up here fucking putting together this motherfucking whole setup. She was up there for like 30 to 40 fucking minutes setting up this whole shit. And let me tell you, this bitch did not get the job. 2 white folks got the fucking job. And the black woman who fucking set up the display didn't get the job, but the display stayed the fuck up and looked sickening from there until I fucking left. You feel me? So for weeks they exploited this black woman's fucking talent and luster and work. But they hired 2 basic ass white folks. And the thing that had me dead was when they hired the 2 basic ass white folks, I knew I was gonna be fired because we only needed 1 person to work here. So when they hired the 2 basic white folks, I was just kind of like just waiting to be fired. I literally was just like, I'm just gonna keep working here and doing my fucking thing. But you know what? I already know I'm about to be fired. And just right after that, you know, that's when she pulled me aside and told me that I could still get a motherfucking a good reference from them. But I didn't really care about it because I only worked there for 2 fucking months. But I will say that the reference I put, that when I put them on my resume and I applied for a job in the city, I did get a call back because folks did recognize that I worked on a pretty busy street in the quarter. And I feel like that, you know, honestly, any experience that you can put down in your resume is good. But at the same time, I didn't really care about them, you know, trying to back up my fucking words, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I just feel like they were some slithering ass folks. But trying to get into the rest of this, trying to just finish this soggy breast cow stomach. This job just pretty much was just so basic in ways that it really bothers me because there was a time. Also, I want to get into this. There was a situation where we were getting robbed a lot. People were just coming into the shop. We had 2 doors. So people would come into the front door, steal some shit, and go out the back door. And my boss saw him and would try to chase motherfuckers out, but knew that she really wasn't about that life. So she started locking the second door and didn't tell nobody, right? And didn't tell nobody that didn't tell nobody to stop doing that. She was like, I'm keeping that second door locked because I'm noticing people are coming in and stealing. And I'm like, okay. And even people would tell us too. One time these 2 black folks came in and they walked in the front door and they saw the back door. They were like, damn. They were like, you silly for having that back door unguarded. And I was like, bitch, I don't really give a fuck if someone fucking robs this place like that. Y'all not paying me to puppy guard. My job description is cashier of magical motherfucking supplies, not top flight security. So I'm not gonna be worrying myself about watching that back door and trying to run after somebody who may or may not take my life over a fucking a motherfucking Rose of Jericho, okay? A motherfucking bag of some rose quartz stones, okay? I'm not going to lose my life over some fucking sage. That's not gonna be my life. So as I said, she was keeping the door locked. Why the fuck when the owner came one day when I was working, he tried to bug on me because the back door was locked. And then she tried to bug on me too, talking about that was just for Halloween. I'm like, bitch, it's November 2nd. You have not talked to me since Halloween. Like, what the fuck? I'm sitting here like, bitch, if I would have known that this was just for Halloween, I would have been like, this is just for Halloween. But it wasn't. So I was just like, damn, you know, like that's just wild to me that these people and it was one of those situations where because the boss said that he was an asshole, he said he was a self-proclaimed bitch, he had made it so that my boss was accepting of that shit. My boss was like, this nigga is like that, and that's how he's gonna be. And I'm just like, bitch, why don't you challenge that? But she would rather fucking work under an oppressive ass, gay, white, cis, patriarchal fuckery ass mess of a person and then fucking challenge the ways that could be pervasive and fucking exploitative to the black and brown folks that work for you, bitch. And that's 101 white feminism. This white lady was in charge, but she was not really in charge. She would not fucking even be at work. She would just be dipping. And then I remember Miss Denise was like, you should try to get her job. And I'm like, bitch, you know that nigga's not gonna hire me? He didn't even hire you. To be real, Miss Denise should be running the fucking shop because she knows every fucking thing. But the thing is, he don't trust that bitch to run the fucking shop. He would rather have a white bitch be in the shop running it and calling the shots and fucking it up than have a black lady who know every goddamn thing, who see every goddamn thing, be in some kind of fucking position of power. And like you can see it with the way he pays her, but you can also see it in the way that she watches the shop. I know Miss Denise said to me many times, don't fuck up in front of me because I'm telling. She let me know she was a snitch for the nigga, you know what I mean? She let me know that she was gonna watch his shit. But it just bugged me out how loyal Miss Denise was, how loyal this black lady was to this white man who got her off the streets and got her working in this little fucking nook and cranny of a fucking shop and trying to go hard for him and try to watch out for his fucking merchandise, and this white lady could give a fuck. It just killed me to watch because I'm like, damn, this is how it be. And just like that, they hired 2 more white people and it was happily ever after, right? girl, bye. I don't know. It just bugged me out too, cause like I remember the last day I was working, I had become friends with like these two random ladies who were like from out of town, and one of them was gonna go and apparently she was a model from New York who was gonna um toss or flip the coin or something for LSU, and she was like, "I love you so much. Are you gonna be here tomorrow?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I got fired. I was like, "Isn't that hilarious?" I told these two black ladies, or rather these two brown ladies, that I was gonna fucking be at this job. I had like these two like gay dudes who used to come visit me and just like talk tea with me. I had all these folks that used to come by the shop and check on me, and I'm just like, "Yes, girl, I'm gonna be here tomorrow." And I was not here tomorrow. Never to be seen again. Let me tell you. But, I say all this to say, fuck out of here, you white small business, exploitative ass fucking fake ass slave master bitches. I'm sick of y'all. I'm sick of y'all out here fucking acting like y'all don't gotta fucking do shit, but y'all gonna fucking exploit other folks and get other folks to do stuff. I'm sick of working in spaces where white folks are fucking evil as hell and oppressive as hell, but yeah, I'm supposed to be happy for them that they're not a big corporation. This is how big corporations get funded. Sloppy ass fucking whack and basic ass folks like this who fucking let it be built on top of each other. You know what I mean? It's like they already got 3 shops in this nigga's name, and one of the shops is definitely a failure in New Orleans. I would hate to see what the rest of the shops look like, but folks even told me, they were like, it's a sink or swim kind of place. Either you sink or you swim. And it's like, what does that even fucking mean? And I find out what it means is if you don't fucking do everything that the white people are telling you to do, no matter how fucking ludicrous, no matter how fucking wild it is, it comes down to the fact that you're not working hard enough. You're not doing enough to help the white folks who are trying to stay in business, but yet they're really not putting out a quality fucking product, and they're really just like exploiting other folks of color. So I'm sick of this shit, and I wanted to expose them. I feel like I have. There are more stories I could tell, but this is really just the meat and motherfucking potatoes of the shit. These people were not nice to me. They didn't treat me well. They tried to play me because they told me that I was making some of the best money in the city, but at the same time, if you're making $10 an hour and you're getting taxed at that shit, and they're playing, actually, I didn't even tell y'all how they played me with my money. Tell me why. They knew they were gonna fire me for a while before I knew I was gonna be fired, because I put in to get direct deposit, and they never put it in. They never put my direct deposit in, even though they told me they did. And when I didn't get my money, I had an overdraft in my fucking in my bank account, and I wasn't able to get that money. I wasn't able to do me. And I was just like, damn. I put in for direct deposit fucking 2 pay periods ago. How is it that my money didn't come through? And they really was trying to tell me, oh, well, you're making $10 an hour. Like, how can you not appreciate that? And it's like, whoa, it's like, I appreciate making $10 an hour. I don't appreciate my money being late, because nobody else's money was late. Like, literally, I'm the only one that ever had money problems in the whole fucking business. And I feel like it's because they didn't really take me seriously. They were trying to exploit me and exploit the fact that I could bring customers in and I could sell products. Most of the shit that I was selling, people were like, how are you able to sell a $600 item? And they didn't realize I work in a place where there is a $600 item. If a white person's coming in here and they want to buy a $600 item and they have $600, they're going to buy it whether my black ass sells it to them or not. So it really wasn't a matter of me getting and enticing white folks to buy stuff. It was a matter of me just being a black person in a space where white folks wanted to buy something, and it was literally me keeping them from it. I would be the person that would go up to the case, let them touch the shit. Do you want to buy this? Do you want to buy this? That's literally all you have to do. And they hire folks who are not like quote unquote, or rather they hire folks who are like conventionally attractive, or most are going to help their business so that they can sell it. Of course they're going to hire my big brown ass to fucking be up in the fucking space and, be talking to folks and be helping them with shit. Of course they're gonna love that shit. They're gonna love, my charm and my grace and all that shit. But in reality, it's just some exploitative bullshit. They just want to see a black bitch inside of the shop so they can legitimize it. When they see white people in the shop, yeah, they'll talk to them, yeah, they'll listen, but don't let it be a black bitch wearing some kente cloth and some fucking skulls and bones and fucking have some dice in their hand or some cowrie shells, because they'll believe that shit even more, But that has a lot to do with black magical Negroism and shit like that. But I was definitely hired to be a magical Negro. But anyways, I definitely want to get out of here. I appreciate y'all for listening. Don't shop at motherfucking Hex Witch. Fuck that shop. Fuck them. I don't need their motherfucking endorsement or anything like that to move forward in my life. I worked with y'all for 2 months and y'all were basic. So all I'm going to say, Basic Boots, sick of it. You know what I mean? Boycott their asses. They're not a legitimate ass place. If you want to go somewhere in New Orleans and get you some legitimate ass fucking voodoo fucking information, you want to fucking learn about you know, the Loas, and you want to learn about Orishas, you want to learn about Valukan. You want to do those things? You need to go to King and Queen. It's on Bayou Road. It's on Bayou Road in New Orleans. That's where you need to go. Don't go to Hex Witch, because it's just a fucking gimmicky ass fucking place where they're just trying to sell you things. Even the books too. Even the books are written by white folks about like African culture, and it's just very interesting how, like, you know, it's an independent shop. This white man could easily go out and find black folks who are writing about this shit, but instead he would rather fucking big up other white folks, and that's how fucking industry continues to go. That's how white supremacy continues to reign. You know what I mean? We have these situations where white folks are fucking exploiting shit that they don't know about. So, point blank, I'm gonna see y'all. I love y'all. Take care. Bye. Thank you for watching.